U.S. Senator Roy Blunt with us. I guess first question, and I ask this because there are a number of elected officials that are not even going to be there. Are you going to be there at the speech tonight?
Nick, good to be with you this morning. I will be there tonight, and I think the president set the bar pretty high by asking for a joint session of Congress to make his speech tonight. Everything I hear from the White House is that there really is not much new here, and the president still doesn't appear to understand that while the government doesn't create private sector jobs, it has real impact on the environment that people are making that decision in, and whether it's more regulation or higher taxes or higher utility bills or higher health care costs, all those discourage the final decision to say, let's put our money on the table and create another job. And I don't hear any of that discussion coming out of the White House at all.
Do you think that he might utilize tonight to reset the platform and the expectations for the upcoming election? I think that it appears there is concessions internally in the White House that the economy is not going to improve, that unemployment is not going. I mean, they've even sort of thrown this out there for people that, don't expect unemployment to improve that much, and maybe to reset his campaign as in the work is not finished, things were worse than we thought, we inherited something that was more difficult than we thought, and so it's going to take more than 4 years in order to fix the problem. And do you really want to go back to the people who created the problem in the first place or continue to move forward? Do you think that this might be the night that he tries to sort of set that campaign platform?
Well, I don't see much coming out of the White House in terms of real solutions. I don't know what the purpose of tonight is, but I do think that they're trying to convince people that somehow, unemployment would likely be 9% through all of next year. And I guess then you get it down to 8.5%, which is 20% higher than when he became president, or almost 20% higher. Then you say, oh, we're making real progress. Unemployment's gone up. The national debt's increased by 40%. Gas prices have doubled. And the president's plans are not working, and more of the same will not work. We need more American energy. We need more certainty. The shortest path, Nick, to more American jobs is more American energy. It's a sure marketplace. We've produced less energy than we've used for 50 years. We use about as much of it in a bad economy as a good economy, about as much electricity, about as much fuel. We need to get out there and go after our own energy. We need to stop talking about things that would raise the utility bill. We need to walk away from this crazy health care plan. And when you do that, people are going to decide that they can take the chance necessary, the risk necessary to create jobs. And the president just doesn't get that. And until he gets that, his plans will not work. And I think the American people are figuring that out.
We've seen an evolution from U.S. Senator Claire McCaskill to candidate for re-election, McCaskill, and she's now out there talking about, she's sort of not going anti-Obama, but saying, he needs to not worry about re-election, and I'm not worried about re-election. The things that people who run for re-election often say when they want you to forget what they've done over the past several years. Amongst U.S. senators and your Democratic colleagues in particular, and many of them like Claire McCaskill facing re-election, are they beginning to question the intelligence of the president? He's a book-smart kind of guy, but I think for a while there was this enamored sense that this guy's just brilliant. And even this, I believe you when you say that we don't know why he's even giving this speech, because from a strategic standpoint, the more he talks, the worse it is for him. There doesn't seem to be any real concrete plan here. So one just even from a political standpoint has to say, what is he looking to even get out of this? What's the mood? What's the attitude towards him as I don't know, a strategist or as a commander in an upcoming election cycle amongst your colleagues?
Well, I don't know what you really have to ask them what they're thinking, but it's clear that the Senate that I'm a member of, but a minority member of, a Senate led by Harry Reid, is not doing anything unless it's absolutely a crisis moment. There are 23 Democrats running for re-election in the Senate. There are 10 Republicans running, 23 Democrat seats to be filled, 10 Republican seats to be filled. And the majority leader just refuses to bring anything to the floor that really matters. These trade bills that I'm a supporter of, that the president spent a whole week in August talking about how we could create more American jobs if we'd pass these trade bills, and the Congress just needed to pass them. Well, he has to send them up first. This is, and everybody that knows anything knows that. The president has so much confidence in his own ability to give a speech. I think he believes it doesn't really matter whether the substance of the speech is accurate or not. This big speech idea, which is the only justifiable reason in his mind to be doing this thing tonight, I think is going to catch up with him. People are going to see that there are no big ideas in the big speech. When you raise expectations like the president has with this speech tonight, you better be prepared to meet them with something better than more of the same. And I haven't heard anything out of the White House that is substantially different than the stimulus plan that failed or the other ideas that the president's advocated that haven't worked so far. And every problem has gotten worse, not better, as this president has been given the challenge to solve this economic crisis.
Did you get a chance to see, I know you're busy, but the GOP debate last night?
You know, I didn't see it. I taped it, and I watched the first 40 minutes of it when I got back to my house in Washington at 10 o'clock last night. But I thought 10:40 was about the end of the day for me. So I saw the first 40 minutes. I didn't see the last whatever would have been left, the last half hour, the last 40 minutes or so. What was there that you wondered about?
Oh, I just wondered your thoughts on it. I mean, with that many people, of course, the focus being on Romney and being on Perry, that seemed to be where the bout was, and the more that focus is there, the more Bachmann kind of falls off. But I got to tell you, I mean, Ron Paul, I think more and more people, a lot of the things, he starts to get on the crazy train once in a while, but when he stays off of it, I think that a lot of mainstream people like what he's saying just because he's saying it, and doesn't really mean anything in the end.
Well, he brings a different point of view to that debate. You know, Ron Paul, I did hear the part where he said that he thought the Reagan presidency was a failure. I don't agree with that. But if you have Ron Paul's point of view that the federal government shouldn't do hardly anything, that was not Reagan's point of view. And there they were at the Reagan Library, and that was, I thought, a difficult moment for Ron Paul. But, you know, I thought Governor Perry looked good. I thought Governor Romney looked good. I thought Governor Huntsman actually looked good. I thought I did hear the part where
we got about 30 seconds. Just
I'm not here to help you criticize other Republicans who are all against this health care bill, and I'm not going to be part of that game. I actually thought all of our candidates on that stage looked better than the President of the United States looked.
I agree. Well, I hate to cut you off. I know you're busy. We've got the news coming up. U.S. Senator Blunt, thank you so much for your time.
Great to talk to you, Nick. I'll see you soon, buddy.